Okay, question 5. We are given f of x, a quadratic, g of x, a linear function. It says x and c are both elements of the real numbers. Part A, find the range of f. Okay, this should be fairly straightforward. F of x is a quadratic, which means it's a parabola, and the range is just going to be the y values bigger or equal to this minimum, because it obviously there's nothing below. There are no values below because this is the minimum point. So I'm going to just draw this graph. It is 6x squared minus 12x plus 1. This is the graph. Move that out of the way. Menu, analyze graph, minimum, lower bound, upper bound, and the minimum is at 1, -5. Now you can actually draw this just if you want to show working or show clearly what you're doing, or at least say the minimum is at 1, -5. That's kind of your first mark for working. And then you say the range. So the range is f of x has to be bigger or equal to -5, and that's it. Part B. Given that g of f of x is less than or equal to 0 for all x is an element of the real numbers, determine the set of possible values of c. Okay, so what they're testing here is, well, a few things. Your understanding of composite functions. So g of f of x. Okay, let's do that first. G of f of x. That means I'm putting f, this thing, into g. So it's negative f, which is 6x squared minus 12x plus 1, plus c. Now, if f of x looks like this, then negative f of x has to look like, well, this. Like this. And this this maximum now will have to be at 1, still 1. We haven't moved it right or left. And instead of being at -5, it's now at 5. But we also have this c. So it's at 5 plus c. That's the maximum point. Now, it says this whole function is always less than or equal to 0. What are the possible values of c? So imagine, let me actually draw a set of axes here. Imagine I'll draw it in red. Imagine this is my x and y axes. If this so this would be the maximum possible, because this is when it would equal 0. If that coordinate is at 1, 0, because it's on the x-axis, which would be a y-coordinate of 0, what is c? Well, hopefully you got it, guys. C would be -5. So c would actually be anything. Okay, so I'll just do therefore c has to be less than or equal to -5, because -5 is the biggest thing it could be, the greatest thing it could be. If it was, let's say, -4, then you'd have 5 plus 1, which would mean this graph is above the x-axis, which isn't okay. If it was -6, it would be 1 below here, which would be fine, also less than or equal to 0. So its kind of maximum it could be is -5, and it obviously could be anything smaller than -5. Okay, hope that makes sense, guys. I'll see you for question 6.